Welcome back to the channel. This is a step-by-step DIY sewing tutorial of how to make a square neck corset with a basque waistline. If you haven't seen the pattern drafting video, do well to check it on my channel. I've already uploaded it. Moving on, the next thing you want to do now is to cut on your fabric. So you're just going to place your pattern paper on your fabric. We'll be cutting both the main fabric and the lining. Ensure to leave at least half an inch for joining allowance. On your side front and side back, you can leave 1 inch. If the fabric is very stretchy, you can leave half an inch. With that being said, let's head over to the sewing machine. So before sewing, the next thing you want to do now is to attach like an interface, like a hair stay or paper stay. Just attach something soft. If your fabric is very stretchy, you want to attach a soft interface. After doing that, the next thing you want to do now is to join all of these pieces. I'll be starting with the back. I'll be starting with one piece of the center back and one piece of the side back. Okay, just for clarity, I used my pattern paper to be sure that I am placing it right before joining. As soon as I'm done confirming, I'm going to place it like so and take it now to my machine. I'll be starting with the bottom, that's the length, that's where I'll be joining from. These are the other pieces for the back, the center back and the side back. After joining the back pieces, the next thing you want to do now is to join the front. For the front, we have about 5 pieces in total, the center front and the 2 other pieces at the side. So I'll be joining the 2 pieces at the side before attaching the center front. After joining the 2 side pieces at the front, the next thing I did was to get my center front and attached it to the side pieces that I joined. After I've attached my center front to one side of the side front pieces, I'm going to also sew the other side front pieces and attach it to the center front. After joining, I'll be attaching it now to the center front. This is what it looks like after joining all the pieces together. And now the next we want to do now is to top stitch. We want to create our boning channel. So you can decide to add a casing separately, or you can just top stitch using the joining allowance that you joined with. Okay, for me, I'm not attaching a different boning case. I'll just be using the joining allowance I used to create my own boning channel. I will start top stitching from the back. Please ensure on your lining, after joining your lining pieces, you don't need to top stitch. You only need to top stitch your front because of the boning channel you want to create. Let me quickly add that if you're using the top stitching method for your boning channel or to create your boning channel, you must put that into consideration when adding your joining allowance. So if your boning is the bigger one, you want to ensure that your joining allowance is more than half an inch. Personally, I'll be using the smaller boning. I don't need to take up to 1 inch for my joining allowance. To save time and reduce the length of this video, I'll be doing the remaining top stitching off camera. But this is what it looks like, right? I'm going to move my seam allowance or my joining allowance to one side, and then I'm going to run a stitch across that line, ensuring that I top stitch on the excesses, not on the line, not on the seam line, please. Now this is what it looks like after top stitching. You can see that I've created my own boning channel. If you're also going to use the top stitching method, this is what you'd be getting. You just need to give your fabric a good press to help it relax and help the top stitching area relax as well. After that is done, the next you want to do now is to fix your zip. And for me, I'll be using a zipper foot. It just makes the fixing very easy. Okay, if you do not have a zipper foot, you have to be careful at this point so you don't sew on the teeth of the zip. You can see what it looks like using a zipper foot. You can see that it's looking neat and very easy, very fast. Honestly, I do not underestimate the power of tools, right? Sewing tools. If you have them, if you can get them, please get them. I'm done fixing one side of the zip. I'll be fixing the other side now at the back. To fix the other zipper, I ensure that I closed it up and then notch the length. That's where the zipper stopped, and then the beginning as well, where I'll start sewing from on the other side of the zipper that are not fixed. Notching the other zip will help you sew rightly so that you do not have one of your back piece longer than the other back piece after fixing. After notching, I went ahead now to attach it to the other side of the back piece. It is also not old-fashioned to pin it down, just for it to stay firm. So now this is what it looks like. Can you see how seamless and invisible the invisible zip is looking? You can barely tell if there is a zip here, right? Again, I say invest in a zipper footer. You can get it for an industrial machine or even for your manual machine. If you go to the market and ask for zipper foot for a manual machine, you can also get it there. Moving on, I'm going to bring now my lining and my main fabric. I'll be starting with the front. I'm just going to use this lining now to turn the neck of the main fabric. So you want to ensure that the lines, all the seam lines meet each other. So the seam line on the lining and the seam line on the main fabric meet each other. Once that is done, you're going to get your pin now and pin that down. When sewing the neckline, you want to ensure that you give it a curve shape in between the side that connects to the shoulder and to the depth of the neckline. Once you're done securing the neckline, the next thing you're going to do now is to notch. You're going to, especially that area where you gave a curved shape, you're going to notch on each area so that when you flip over, your lining is going to relax before taking it to the iron to press. This is what it looks like after turning the neck with the lining. The next thing we're going to do now is to turn the neckline for our back. And so I'm going to take now my lining. I'm going to open up the zipper, take my lining, ensuring that my seam line on the lining and my seam line on my main fabric are meeting each other. I'm also going to open up the back side where I fixed my zipper to ensure that my lining reaches there. And I'll go ahead and stitch on my machine like so. Doing the same thing as the front, I'm going to also notch the neckline at the back to ensure that it relaxes. I'm also going to cut out the excess zip coming out at the neckline like so. The next thing I want to do now is to close the zipper opening at the back. To achieve that, I'm going to bend the neckline the way you see me do. So you're going to bend from the front to the lining the way you see me do, and I'm just going to run a straight stitch down. For clarity, I flipped it over to the main fabric where you get to see the zipper seam line, and so I'll just take 1/4 of an inch like so from the seam line and stitch it down. As soon as that is done, I'm going to turn it over to the right side so we can see what we have done. This is what it looks like after turning. You can see how neat it's looking. You're going to also do that to the other side of the back. You're going to run a stitch down, close the zipper opening, and once you're done, you're just going to achieve a very seamless and very neat back. You can see how clean it looks. At this point, you're going to take your back piece now to the pressing iron and give it a good press. This is what the front and the back look like. You can see after giving it a good press, it's coming out well and it's looking beautiful. The next thing we're going to do now is to join both the front and the back together, and we're going to be doing main fabric to main fabric, lining to lining. We're going to be doing the in to in sewing. If you're an in to in seam girl like me, you want to ensure that you take the accurate measurement so you don't make a mistake and you now need to rip the bottom again to open up and access the inside. But of course, this is very optional. You can choose to join the way you know how to join and use a weaving machine to weave to make the work neat, okay? But if you'll be doing the in-to-in seam, then this is what it looks like. You'll be joining the lining separately and the main fabric separately. So lining to lining, fabric to fabric. So this is what it looks like. The next thing we want to do now is to close up the armhole. Because we did the in-to-in sewing, we're going to close up the armhole together. That is from the front to the back. We're going to close it up like so. But if you did not do the in-to-in seam, you want to ensure that before joining the side front and the side back, you must have closed your armhole for the back and the front. The reason is because this particular top does not have a sleeve. But if you want to fix your sleeve, you can go ahead and leave it open so that you are able to fix your sleeve. Back to joining our armhole, ensure that all the lines, all your seam lines are meeting each other. This will just give it a very neat effect and make it also relax well, because if the lines are joined together, the lines on the lining and the lines on the main fabric are joined together, it means you do not have any error. But if they're not, there is most likely something wrong. After ensuring that all my lines are meeting each other, I'm going to take it out to my machine and run a stitch across. Once that is done, you're now going to turn it now to the right side. This is what they look like after turning now to the right side. So now the next thing we're going to do now is to join our shoulder together. And because we want a neat job, we cannot join it like this. It cannot be neat like this, okay? So we want to do an in-to-in joining. What you're going to do now is you're going to take one of the straps and turn it to the wrong side like you see me doing. And then when you get it out to the wrong side, you're going to take the other strap, leaving it at the right side, leaving it facing this way. You're going to insert it into the one you turned to the wrong side, okay? If you watch the video, you're going to see what I'm talking about. I'm also not going to increase the speed. I'm going to leave it at the normal speed so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is what it looks like. The next thing we're going to do now is just to join it together, ensuring that both seam lines are meeting each other, and then we're just going to run a stitch across. After joining both shoulders together, the front and the back, you're going to turn it now to the right side, and this is what it's going to look like. Arrange it properly and take it to the pressing iron to give it a good press. For the second armhole, you're going to do the same thing. Run a stitch across, ensuring that all the seam lines meet each other. Then you're going to also pass the straps like so, the way we did it earlier. Okay, that's just what it is basically. Honestly, this is a do-it-yourself top, a DIY top, no doubt about it. Okay, so this is what you have here. You're just going to take this to your pressing iron and give it a good press. This is the point where you need to now start passing all your boning into their channels. Okay, and yeah, this is what it looks like. This is the front, this is the back. At the bottom, which is the length, you're going to use a bias to pipe it after passing all your bonings into their channels. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video valuable. If you do not forget to subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also turn on your notification bell so whenever I post latest videos you would get notified. If you have any question, kindly leave it in the comment section, and if you have any suggestion as to content to post here, tutorials to post, pattern drafting videos to post, kindly let me know in the comment section. This is your girl Sew with Oma, signing out now till we see in our next video. Mwah.